Welcome, everybody, to Live with Dr. Carolyn Dean. Carolyn is amazing. She's a doctor, she's a naturopath, she's an herbalist, she's an acupuncturist. She's going to tell you exactly what she would do if she were in your shoes. I can't think of a person who has devoted more time to helping people's health than Dr. Carolyn Dean. She can make a huge difference as you listen to her words of wisdom. We know she's ahead of time because she is the doctor of the future. Welcome, Dr. Carolyn Dean. Hey, Carolyn.
Hey, let's start with some hearts. Let's just start with hearts.
Are we starting with hearts? There we go. Oh, gosh. Isn't that fun? Technology, such a gas. Oh, my gosh.
You know, last week I was talking about, hugs and everything. And you could walk up to anyone in Maui and just hug them. I did it. We were in Costco, me and Julie. And we were going out the final check, where they count your items. And this young guy, he gave a hug to what, I presume was a friend of his who checked out with him. So I went by, I only had a couple of things. And then I said, "Can I get a hug?" And he hugged me.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Can I get a hug?
Oh my gosh.
So what I told Julie is tomorrow at the market, I'm going to count the hugs that I get. I'm going to run a list because Bob asked me, how many people did you hug? I said, "Oh, come on, Bob." And Julie spills the beans on me. But we're going to make it a sport. Hugging as a sport.
Oh, wow. That's a fantastic idea because it'd be a lot more fun to count hugs than calories, I think, and it's probably better for your health, right?
Right.
I can get behind counting hugs. All right, I'll start hugging people tomorrow.
Okay, good. It's so healthy because you stimulate all the good neurotransmitters just by having that emotion and that social contact and physical contact.
Now, I'm thinking, are there any rules? Because like right now in my mind, I know where I'm going tomorrow and I could really accost everybody in this place I think I'm going to be, and I could probably get a lot of points.
Yeah, and it'll spread, people think, "Oh, that was fun." And then they do it, the whole pass it on business or pay it forward, which I don't like that expression, but it's like pass it on.
Yes, very good. Very good.
Yeah.
The Pay It Forward movie was very precious, I must say, with the little boy. Did you ever see it?
I think I did, but it was ages ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, the thing that makes it so wonderful was it was a little boy who ended up paying it forward. It was very sweet.
Right.
Okay, now we're back on X, you guys. We're still here. We're hanging out. We're on YouTube. We're moving over into Facebook. We were there last week by accident, but we're going there in a few weeks on purpose as soon as we can do a little advanced recon. And we're having a blast with everybody on social media. We thank you for all the shares and likes and follows. Melody Rose is always asking everybody to ring the bell and sing the song and make your comments. And also, when you go to drcarolyndean.com, which we talk about at the end of the show, look at Carolyn's most recent media. She is on YouTube with Nick Urban, you guys, and this is a fantastic interview. It's all about longevity. It just dropped a couple days ago. I don't even know if we have it loaded up to her website, but just look for Nick Urban and Dr. Carolyn Dean on YouTube. Go take a listen. It's really, really good. And he loves Carolyn. She's been on his show 3 times, and he just absolutely adores her. So that's always so much fun when he knows her material so well, and he can ask really good, compelling questions. So be sure to check that out. Tonight, Carolyn, as usual, we talk about your library and what we're
Oh,
focused.
no. I
No,
get the rant.
oh, you got the rant. We're ready for a rant.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Rant on.
Okay, here it is.
Okay.
Humans don't make their own vitamin C. We can't make it. We are missing a particular enzyme that's the final step to make vitamin C from glucose. We are making vitamin C from sugar. And this is why I've been on about vitamin C. I want people to take lots of it, like 4 to 10 grams, which is 4,000 to 10,000 milligrams. We have a vitamin C berry powder you can start with. We need it because it makes collagen to keep our arteries strong and healthy, and it's for heart disease. It's vitamin C is essential. It's right up there with magnesium. And also, as I was telling Jenny, I think the COVID virus, because it was genetically engineered to have all this spike protein, and the COVID jab has spike protein. So that protein apparently is irritating and attacking soft tissues in the body, and the heart is vulnerable. So I'm trying to make our heart stronger. And in one study, they haven't done a lot of studies on the spike protein and collagen, but in one study, they said that collagen values were decreased by 20% after the jab. Okay, so then I'm thinking, well, vitamin C, all the other animals in the animal kingdom make vitamin C. Guinea pigs don't. The other primates don't. So what happened? And I practice pattern recognition. So where did my mind go? To the Garden of Eden, Ginny? What was our fall in the Garden of Eden? It involved apparently Eve eating the apple when she wasn't supposed to, and was the punishment to stop us making having access, I guess, having access to vitamin C. It's like now you have to eat that apple all day long to get your vitamin C, because we're going to take that enzyme away from you, you bad girl. So here we are at whatever millions of years later perhaps, and we can't make vitamin C, and we have to recognize that, and we have to recognize the importance of it. And there are some kind of mini cults out there who say vitamin C is dangerous, don't take vitamin C. And I think that's a terrible stance to take when we, according to Linus Pauling, for example, who his work was about vitamin C and heart disease. It wasn't just about vitamin C and the silly common cold. He was working on heart disease, and we need a lot out of it. And if we don't take it, then we don't get the collagen performance. And I think the reason why some people say you shouldn't take ascorbic acid vitamin C is because it affects copper. Well, we take care of that because we have copper, bioavailable copper in our Remite. We have bioavailable copper in our zinc, PicoZinc Plus. So we're not stepping away from copper. We're right there balancing that out. So what do you think of that, Ginny?
Well, I read the book this weekend. You asked me to get it, Practicing Medicine Without a License. And it is the story of Linus Pauling's heart theory of cardiovascular disease, that it does begin, cardiovascular disease begins and is rooted in vitamin C deficiency. So I had not been familiar with that idea before. I always default to the magnesium, but this is arterial heart disease, right? So when you have the tearing, and I did not know specifically how vitamin C cannot be matched. There's no other cofactor to the enzymes that actually build the collagen in the arterial walls. There is nothing comparable to it. You must have it. And of course, we already have two very good vitamin C products. We have the capsules, the Vitamin C Reset, which are back in stock now, or should be as of today. And then we have the Vitamin C Reset powder, which is also fantastic. But the other factor is that you have to have the lysine and the proline in order to repair the tears and also to tear down any plaque buildup that's in your arteries. So it's a very good book. You can get it on Amazon. I highly recommend that everybody read it to become familiar with what Carolyn's talking about, because she will continue to talk about this. It's very much her passion, and we are designing a product to meet this challenge right now. So it's not ready quite yet. It'll be ready soon, and we'll see how everybody loves it and enjoys it. But it's very important to educate yourself about this topic.
Very good, very good. Yeah, we told Ginny to read the practicing. What is it? Practicing medicine without a license. And then 2 days later, I read it. I love it. So that was pretty cool. Are you a speed reader?
I do read very fast, and I wouldn't say I'm a speed reader, but I got it yesterday afternoon. It was Sunday, and I had the time to block everything out and just sit down, zoop, 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 zoop,
Yeah.
zoop. And so many of the things that I had heard. And after you kind of get the gist of it, I didn't read verbatim every single word of every single testimonial, because you kind of get the gist of it, and then you know what to expect. But the premise, the scientific premise, I thought was fantastic.
And the fact that it's been covered up for 50 years or something like that.
Right, right. It's not something that's been taken up or championed by even anybody in the mainstream. I don't even know if Dr. Levy champions it, and he's one of the biggest champions of vitamin C.
Well, he's quoted in the book. So, but when I read Thomas Levy's book, I didn't hear him talking about the Pauling therapy or theory. You know, people tend to isolate themselves, but we take our information from wherever we can get it when it makes sense. But what do you think of my theory about our fall in the Garden of Eden was losing our vitamin C enzyme?
I think it's fantastic. I think it's wonderful. Yes, the fruit was the apple, but it was probably an orange.
Oh, they always get it wrong.
They always get it wrong.
So yes, went to the library. We're still we're still knocking on the door of Men's Health.
That's right.
And the blog for this week is about yeast affecting men.
Oh.
And I'm not going to, we've already chewed up some time here. I'm not going to read through it. It talks about different organ parts and everything, but it's basically young men with symptoms of strange rashes, itching, painful intercourse, dry skin, indigestion, craving beer, intestinal gas, and even impotence that don't know where it's coming from. They might just be told, oh, you're stressed, you're anxious, but it could be yeast overgrowth. I've seen a lot of men get yeast overgrowth after they travel. In the worldwide travel, you tend to get traveler's diarrhea, parasites or bacteria. You take antibiotics or antifungals and you develop yeast and you have these symptoms. So taking antibiotics, traveler's diarrhea, those are the two big ways for men to get this symptom. And then what happens is you're dealing with symptoms of maybe IBS, what's diagnosed as IBS, but it could just be yeast overgrowth, for which you can work with our Pico Silver, or you can work with our antifungal, which has a natural antifungal probiotic and some probiotics, prebiotics. So it's a pretty gentle way to balance things out. So I think that's all I'll say about that, Ginny.
Fantastic. I am on my phone right now texting James, asking him where the whole C reset is because I know it's in the warehouse. Maybe it didn't get on the website, and I'm going to put it on there myself so Elma can get some because she's in Kuwait and she's waiting.
Awesome.
Can't keep Elma waiting. So we're on it, ladies and gentlemen. But I know we physically have it physically in the building. So it might not have made it through QC. Mondays are busy, but it'll be within the next 24 hours for sure.
Awesome. Awesome. Next is our Maha agenda, where I tried to look back at the previous week to see what's been happening to make America healthy again, besides what we're doing. I mean, we've been making America healthy again for a long time. So you can jump on our bandwagon. But for the general public, learning these new things about natural health is just extremely important. This week, what I did is just put down a couple of executive orders that the what is it? The Alliance of Natural Health. They're the watchdog of the natural health movement. Alliance. Can you check that, Ginny? If it's Alliance of Natural Health, I always get it wrong. It doesn't, roll off the tongue.
Okay.
And they said that there are several executive orders that could shake big pharma and protect natural health. So that sounds good. So one of them establishes the president's Make America Healthy Again Commission, creating a high-level task force to investigate and combat the alarming rise in chronic disease, especially among children, by addressing root causes such as poor nutrition, environmental toxins, over-medication, and lack of transparency in health research. Now, we've talked about this before. It's very important. You can't expect the government to do it all or change all these things overnight. So just by kind of opening up the door to this information, people will start to hopefully take advantage of what they're learning about, too much sugar, too much seed oils, not enough exercise, not enough sunlight, etc. The second one, delivering most favored nation prescription drug pricing to American patients. So I've talked about these before. Both of them, I've mentioned them that's on the Maha agenda, but now they've become executive orders. And I'm not that keen on cheaper drugs because drugs have so many side effects. What about, dietary supplements? But anyway, the third executive order, lowering drug prices. Again, not that fond of cheap drugs. They're still pretty toxic. But here's one, Ginny. Executive Order 14149 protects Americans' free speech rights by stopping the federal government from pressuring or working with others like social media companies to censor speech. Now, does this include free speech for dietary supplement companies? Because we do not have free speech.
Right.
We are told that we cannot say that our dietary formulas help a health condition. They say we're making a health claim and only drugs can treat disease. So when will free speech reach my door? That's my question. So that's what I noticed. I didn't really pay a lot of attention. Did you notice anything else, Ginny, in the Maha world?
Well, I know that they kicked off all the CDC people. Did we talk about that?
Right. No. Right. The people who were overseeing the vaccine business, because it is a business.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And they put in Robert McCullough, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Robert Malone. Yeah, they created a new supervisory committee. They got rid of all the CDC folks, and they populated it with more neutral, legitimate, true vaccine people that understand science and different kinds of things. So just a move to get the CDC oligarchs off was probably pretty good.
Right. I mean, there's Malone and McCullough, so we have to be clear on which one it was.
Malone, Dr. Robert Malone.
Okay, so he was one of the people that made mRNA vaccines in the beginning, and then he came out against them because he didn't think they were being used properly.
Correct.
Okay, awesome. So next we have some very nice, under our kind of Q&A, there are actually a few very sweet testimonials. Is this Betty's? Yeah. So Betty's writing. Now, Betty, let me say at the outset, she's in our over 80 club. So she said, I just wanted to share this amazing news with you and others. 2.5 weeks ago, I fell playing pickleball with my grandson. I went back to hit the ball and fell with all my weight landing on my left shoulder. I went to the ER, and after x-rays, the doctor said I had broken the humerus bone right at the base of the ball of the shoulder. He put me in a sling, and then I followed up with a sports orthopedic doctor who specializes in arms and shoulders. She didn't go to the finger doctor. She went to the arm and shoulder doctor. He said because the bone was not displaced, surgery would not be required. He wanted me to wear a sling for 4 to 6 weeks to allow the bone to heal. And surprisingly, he said you might want to take magnesium. Of course, I was already taking 2 teaspoons of our picometer magnesium and 1 teaspoon of our picometer calcium. So I increased the magnesium and put on lots of the magnesium balm. I went back today for a 2-week checkup. They took another x-ray, and when the doctor looked at the x-ray, he couldn't see a break. I told him I knew it was the magnesium that helped it heal so quickly, along with the Lord's blessing. He took the sling off and said to start using the arm immediately, and he did not think I would need physical therapy. By the way, I'll be 80 in September. Thank you so much for your formulas. Isn't that now that's what we want.
That's right.
We're all falling and tripping and messing around. How many times have I fallen? And I just say it's like a game I'm playing with myself. Let's see how much I can bash myself up and then heal overnight. So that's what Betty did. And yeah, it's cool that the doctor said take magnesium. When you're immobilized in a sling or however, I mean, after 3 weeks of my elbow rupture, which it never broke, but man, I had a noodle for a biceps, and I have shown my biceps after using my weight for just a couple of weeks. You can get your muscles back and treat it like an adventure, an experiment, a game. You hurt yourself, you get sick. Oh, let's see how quick I can recover. You call customer service. It sounds like Betty knew exactly what to do herself, but you can call customer service and get our input. And it is amazing how well we can heal. I mean, I've seen this throughout my whole medical career. When I would have to send someone for surgery, I would go in on the surgery with my patients, and I would have them on good nutrients, not my current ones, which are just a miracle, but these folks would heal so fast. And it was probably because I was there, hugging them.
That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we have stories. So there's that. And then in Facebook, as someone is saying, the name may be below, but hi, Dr. Dean. I want you to know that I talk about you and your products at every chance I get because she's talking about the magnesium has truly been life altering for me and my family. here are a couple of things. My sister was born with sickle cell anemia. She's had lots of mini crises and generalized clotting. She would have to get intravenous all the time because I guess it's a dehydration thing, and then clotting happens. The sickle cells kind of bind on one another and clump up, so you have to keep hydrated. And this sister was telling her, look, they're telling you to drink water and Gatorade, but you need minerals. And so the sister with the sickle cell anemia finally started to take our minerals and is amazed at how much better she feels and how much less she needs to be hydrated with IV fluids. I mean, who wants to go to the hospital all the time? And then she says, my mother has atypical Parkinson's. And she said on the Facebook Parkinson's boards, everyone is battling anxiety, constipation, and there's something about a movement with one arm held at the side, but bent at the elbow and kind of pushing or stretching the shoulder. My sister took my mother to the doctor to ask about this particular situation, was told, oh, it's a common symptom of the disease. I told my mother that it looked like a muscle cramp. After considering the other complaints people had, I reasoned that somehow these people are suffering magnesium deficiency. I instructed my family to make sure my mom was getting her magnesium, picometer magnesium, and amazingly, that so-called symptom of the disease resolved. How often do we talk about this? Do you really have this condition? Do you have heart disease or magnesium deficiency? Do you have this muscle cramp or magnesium deficiency? And then she continues, I've been reading research studies about Parkinson's and found some connection to a zinc deficiency. So I ordered your zinc and copper for my mom. My mom has dandruff, which is a zinc deficiency symptom. So I put an antifungal and the Pico zinc and copper in a spray bottle, and for 2 months sprayed her scalp every other day. She also takes the zinc copper in her daily water. Her dandruff is nearly completely gone. And when you have a symptom like that, dandruff, it's like, well, it's not life-threatening, but what is this zinc copper deficiency doing throughout the body? That's what amazes us. So, Jenny, what do you think of that?
Yeah, that is a fantastic, fantastic testimonial. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Very, very cool.
So,
Now,
any questions?
well, Stephanie is saying her husband got a puncture wound on his hand from his drill and it got all swollen. He put Remag on it, and the next day, it was moving in the right direction. All the swelling was gone. So, Remag is truly, oh, wait, stabilized ions of picometer minerals in liquid form are definitely miraculous. There's just no doubt about it. Just absolutely fantastic.
Well, you know what I would go to is, but people don't necessarily have the clay and our picometer silver, because clay and will draw out if there's any dirt or whatever in a wound, and the picometer silver will act as a natural antibiotic. I mean, they still use silver on total body burns because it's the safest kind of antibiotic to use, natural antibiotic. So we have lots of things that will work.
A couple things. Judy Canaday said that she took your advice, Carolyn, and added 2 scoops of her berry powder to her daily routine, and her heart palpitations have stopped. So she's really excited about that. Each scoop having 2 grams of vitamin C. And so there's 4 grams of vitamin C. And how perfect is that? So, and that's readily available. We've got that in stock. And then also a question that we got in from one of our listeners said, a while back, Dr. Dean said that baths make your body feel, cold baths, an ice bath makes your body feel like it's dying. She says, I'm kind of paraphrasing.
Yeah.
So does that apply to ending a shower with a cold minute of cold water?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that's just allowing your skin to adapt to a change in temperature. I don't. Well, here in Maui, seriously, our water doesn't get cold, cold, cold because it's running through the lava rock and everything's so warm here. So I just say, well, the air conditioning's on. I'll finish my hot shower, walk out of the shower, and I'll be hit with a little wave of cold. There, that's all I need.
There you go. That's it. That's all that's required.
Well,
Uh,
it's just an adaptive thing. It's seriously, I was listening to this guy, I think Jack Cruz. I don't know. I've heard his name before, but he was doing this like 4 hour in depth, the 300 things that you should do to make yourself healthy. I mean, these guys, it reminds in New York, who was the guy? Oh, Bob's going to laugh at me because I'm forgetting his name, probably because I shouldn't say his name. But he'd have these lectures and he'd talk about these 30 supplements that could help you. And he'd be lecturing to an audience of people who looked like they were all dying.
oh,
It's like you're desperate for something that will work. You'll listen, you'll hope the words will help or the information will help, but you don't have the energy to do it. You don't have the money to buy 30 supplements, and it's ridiculous to expect people to do that. Or, you can't eat the 10 foods that are going to help you with this, or the 6 herbs that will do that, or wake up every morning and look at the sun. They give you so many, or stop your vitamin C, or stop this, or stop that, because it's, and all these negatives that people just are overwhelmed. And I know all this, I've heard all this for 50 years. And that's why we just say, just stay where you are, take your picometer magnesium, take some sea salt in your drinking water, feel better. And then when you get that energy that you will always get with our picometer magnesium, you can start making some moves, reach up into your cupboards and throw some things out. But you cannot be expected in a chronic state of feeling horrible to just to take all these extra tasks on. So that's where I draw the line at you have to get your genetic testing to know all the bad things about you. No, no, you don't need that. You don't need to spend $2,000 on blood tests and stool tests and all the other tests to find out what to take and what are you going to be offered. Dirt minerals and synthetic vitamins and toxic omega-3 fish oils. No, you don't have to do all that. You can come and hang out with us.
That's right. Come hang out with us. Yay! Here come the hearts. Carolyn and I are heart addicted tonight.
Oh, I know. We learned this from our buddy Eric and our meetings, and we never had the hearts until we got new computers.
That's right. Our new computers we equipped with hearts, so that's perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
I think, Jack Cruz is a big advocate of cold adaptation. When Wim Hof is an advocate of cold adaptation. So it's a strategy, but like you said, Carolyn, perfectly, all the words that you just said.
And actually, we did have a question. In an upcoming podcast, could you discuss the use of electrolytes for summer as it pertains to your formulas? I've been an outdoor person my entire life, but now in my 70s, I'm more concerned with heat-related issues than ever. I want to have enough of the right stuff before venturing out in the heat. My wife and I enjoy your podcast. So I guess, rather than jumping around, oh, well, do this in the spring and this in the summer and this in the winter, I do just stick with your body weight, measure it in pounds, divide that in half, and drink that many ounces of water a day. And in each liter or quart of water, put a quarter teaspoon of a colorful sea salt so you get minerals. And I'm taking a little more sea salt now. I kind of have a mound on the top of my quarter teaspoon, so getting more salt. And then in that jug of that quart of water, you'll put your picometer magnesium, you'll put your picometer multiple minerals, 2 teaspoons of the magnesium, 1.5 of, and maybe if you're exercising, maybe 2 teaspoons of the multiple minerals, and then put your berry powder in for taste. And I think if I think most people, for me, getting through 3 tall glasses of water a day, I have to work at it. So I'm not going to say that in the summer, all of a sudden, this is what you need. You have to judge it yourself. If you're out sweating and you're thirsty, drink more water, but make sure it does have the sea salt in it. I think that I'll just leave it at that so it's not too complicated.
Yeah. Fantastic. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. And then I think, do we have a final question? Let me just make sure. This last one. Judith asked, what products can I use, continue to take a week before anesthesia? You know how they always want to rip you off all your blood thinning agents and all the rest of it. Carolyn.
Well, we don't have blood thinners. I mean, I think, what are they telling people to stop? Garlic and
Yeah.
I forget the list, but
They do say fish oils, but our omegas are not fish oils.
right, they're algae.
They're
Yeah, even when we say magnesium is kind of a blood thinner, it's only a blood thinner in the sense that it bumps out calcium. It pushes calcium into the bones. And because calcium is an actual blood clotting part of the blood clotting list. So I guess you'd look at the list that your doctor gives you, and like Ginny says, we don't use the fish oil, we use the algae, and our dosages are not high. And what I would say is, take a lot of magnesium before. I would do a coffee enema or an enema beforehand, because things get riled up in there, and you'll come out of surgery wanting to use the bathroom, but won't be able to move fast enough. So an enema is very helpful. And afterwards, make sure that your people bring you your water bottle with your magnesium in it, and your berry water. You don't have to tell them, but post surgery, you really want that magnesium, because most of the inhaled anesthetics are fluoride drugs that bind magnesium and make it unavailable. And this is why people come out of surgery with heart palpitations and, not feeling good at all, because they've lost their magnesium. Good surgeons back in the day used to put people on IV magnesium during surgery. I wish they would get back to that. So I guess, that's not a clear answer, but hopefully that will give you some direction.
very good. Also, you can email customer service and they have a follow-up FAQ that we've given out before, so they'll be able to help you with that. And then finally, our last question that I do want to ask, or that is being asked, is our vitamin C buffered for gastro issues?
Of course it is.
Of course. Of course it is. Yeah,
That's the potassium part of
yeah.
the vitamin C vitamin C berry powder. The
Very-
Yeah, the potassium, I guess, uh, that was sort of natural to do when you're looking at ascorbic acid. It is acidic. Um, what I even do when, if I'm using extra ascorbic acid, I will get my baking soda and put in a quarter teaspoon or a half teaspoon for extra buffering. If you find that you're taking the vitamin C powder and, oh, maybe it feels a bit acidic, just put in some baking soda. So
Now,
there.
here we go. Once again,
Or is it baking powder? Oh my gosh.
15
I
years. It's baking soda, I think, for neutralizing pH,
Yeah,
ascorbic acid.
yeah.
Yeah. Here, all these years I've listened to Carolyn, and once again, we're coming to, I need my own slide. I need a Ginny aha moment where I get to say that I've heard Carolyn for 15 years and she still manages to say something new. Because in all the time we've talked about the vitamin C powder, I've never heard her talk about buffering your own vitamin C that we have with a quarter teaspoon of baking soda. So I think that's fantastic,
Oh,
Carolyn.
oh, that's cool. I know it's like there's so much in here, and it doesn't come out unless I have the question. And that's why I love the radio show. I love the customer service where I can be asked a question that, oh yeah, I know that answer. It's yeah, it's fun. And that's why I appreciate the show so much. So thank you very much.
That's fantastic. Fantastic information. We'll make that a snippet. Sarah Ellis, who I know is listening tonight through customer service. Let's make that a snippet for people who need additional buffering on the vitamin C. Fantastic.
So I
Okay.
have more of what could be a rant. This is under pros and cons of supplements.
Oh, good.
Okay. Now, I've talked about nitric oxide before, but I ran across Dr. Nathan Bryan talking about his whole nitric oxide life. Everything is nitric oxide. He says everything is cured with nitric oxide. He has a company that researches nitric oxide, he has nitric oxide products. Back in 1999, in my Magnesium Miracle book, I wrote about magnesium being the necessary cofactor for making nitric oxide. So, I mean, it's well known. Magnesium makes nitric oxide. Okay, what's he trying to tell us? Does he have nitric oxide on a spoon? So finally, Ginny, I tracked down his nitric oxide products and their ingredients. It took me a while. What do you think he's using as
No,
a nitric oxide product?
do not say magnesium. Do not say it. Wow.
Magnesium ascorbate.
Wow.
So the label says vitamin C from magnesium ascorbate.
Wow.
Magnesium from magnesium ascorbate. He's
Wow.
just pushing magnesium, and it's not even, of course, it'll never be our picometer magnesium. But what are the dosages? 164 milligrams of vitamin C, nothing,
Nothing.
and only 12.8 milligrams of magnesium. And he is selling this like his life depends on it. It's
Wow.
unbelievable.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So everybody out there who's taking your picometer magnesium and your vitamin C powder or your whole C capsules, you are making enough nitric oxide for you to be happy with and not worry about this. Oh, there's so, oh, Ginny, when they say when you're older, you don't have human growth hormone, you don't have this, you don't have that, your nitric oxide is on. They have the percentages. They just slam all these numbers down your throat hole. And you have to realize that they are measuring the sick population,
Yes.
not measuring you and me.
That's
As
right.
I say every week, at at my ripe age of 3/4 of a century plus, I feel better now that I'm getting my nitric oxide from my magnesium and vitamin C than I did when I was 30. So they are trying to make out that because you're aging and you're not absorbing or you're not this, you're absorbing so well our picometer minerals and our food-based vitamins that you don't have to worry. You are not in the category that they are measuring. And that's the marketing that's out there, making people fearful that, "Oh, I'm I'm missing all these 30 different things, so I better start swallowing." We've had it. We've had people who are swallowing hundreds of capsules a day because they're fear-based, treating themselves with all the marketing that's out there. And you can believe that a lot of the dietary supplement companies now are owned by big pharma, and
Yes.
they are pushing all their marketing schemes. And we know they're trying to take over. We know that the FDA and the state agencies are after small companies, small, medium companies like us and our manufacturers. They don't go after the big guys. They just go after us so they can run us out of business so that we're not able to help you. So thank you for sticking around so we can we can continue to help you.
Yes, and we are surrounded by the golden power of protection and the fifth gate and the elemental P and all of our other click your heel together strategies. So they're
Yeah.
not going to get rid of us.
Mhm.
But no, we'll be here forever. So no panicking allowed, everybody. We're going to stay. But yeah, definitely hang on to your blue bottles for sure, for sure. And
So
sure.
so then I don't phew, I think this is under supplements too. I did this is not, something that's an article to see, but from Best Life, when you might as well call it Worst Life, because they published this piece of what I call clickbait, which may be actually a big pharma attack on dietary supplements, where they say the title is "Doctors Say These 8 Supplements Can Damage Your Kidneys." Seriously. And it just is so annoying. And there are words, they write words and words and words and words, and then they say turmeric has oxalate, and oxalates can bind to calcium and make kidney stones. Well, I mean, I don't believe that for a second. You know how important turmeric is. Actually, we're farming turmeric right now on the farm here, but and we're going to make use of it because turmeric is so important as an anti-inflammatory and anti-radiation formula. So they're talking about oxalates and they make these presumptions and then they jump and then they make these incredible declarations that are just tactics. But what we do know about oxalates, they bind with magnesium, preventing oxalate from binding with calcium, so it prevents kidney stones. So keep taking your magnesium. Vitamin C, they say, is bad for the kidneys, and they've tried for years to say that vitamin C causes kidney stones. It does not. I know enough doctors who use thousands, tens of thousands of milligrams intravenous vitamin C, and they've never had a kidney stone in their patients. Then they go after vitamin D, for Pete's sakes. They say vitamin D supplements can interact with aluminum containing phosphate binders, often used in chronic kidney disease. So they're using these toxic aluminum compounds to treat a problem in chronic kidney disease. Actually, that can be treated with magnesium. Isn't that interesting? Magnesium can reduce phosphate levels, and you don't have to use a toxic drug containing aluminum. And then they say high doses of calcium can affect the kidneys. And then they go after potassium can cause kidney damage, vitamin A. I mean, you could look at all these supplements. You can look at water. You can kill yourself by over drinking water. I remember one case study they had of a person who was not mentally balanced, who went in a hot tub, and I think he put a box of tea bags in the hot tub and started drinking the tea from the hot tub, and it swelled his brain. He became so fluid overloaded that apparently he stroked out. So you can kill yourself in any number of ways. But these articles that will take, it's not even a half truth, they'll take a smidgen of a truth, or in some cases, like if they ever say magnesium is dangerous, it may be because they've given IV magnesium to someone and caused a severe imbalance and caused some sort of heart arrhythmia. So anyway, that's my rant. And then no helpful hacks today because I've overstayed my welcome pretty much before even getting to any articles. So back to you, Ginny. What do we got?
Well, I think everything that you've talked about in that last statement is absolutely perfect. And I found a article. I'll share it with you, Carolyn. That the Global Center for Wellness, or some study group, has discovered that the global wellness industry, which includes fitness and cosmetics, is 5 times the size of pharma. And that is because people are committed to finding solutions for themselves. So when pharma is being outbested by the wellness industry and they can see that they're losing their hold
Yeah,
on the, indoctrination of the people, which they have definitely lost,
I
they're
know.
going to continue to fight with these propaganda statements, but they're simply not true. And the better people get, the better they're going to get. And it's not going to be hard to turn your back on pharma when people are feeling good.
Yeah. Wow, that's fascinating. Well, they big pharma kind of made a whole segment of the population um, distrust them,
Yes.
and they're showing that the side effects don't have to occur. Why should we live with these side effects? Isn't there an alternative? So yeah, people are waking up. But okay, so they'll get that amount, but I wonder how many of those supplement companies are already owned by big pharma, because they are infiltrating. But at the same time, if it's called a dietary supplement company, that's that's good. But you know how I say most dietary supplements companies except ours are using dirt mineral compounds. They're not the picometer minerals. They're using synthetics, and what they say in their interminable marketing text is that, well, we're laboratory tested and we're doctor approved and we're this and that, but they never say, but our supplements work. They never, and we're not really allowed to say that, but we see it in our Amazon testimonials. We hear it at customer service, so we know ours work. But see, this is the thing: the lack of the First Amendment being able to speak your words means that we can't really speak our words even on this radio show. We every once in a while make a mistake and give the name of our product, so, which is a joke to us. It's a big joke,
Mm.
and we think that we're in a new administration and the FDA is going to be nice and all the rest of it, but then we find out a couple of weeks ago that one of our manufacturers was pounced upon by the FDA and a state health agency. Out of the blue, they come. They never find anything, but they keep trying every couple of years, and it's so disruptive to a small industry, a small company like theirs and ours.
Yeah.
So they're continuing to harass, and for what reason? We've only helped people.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
That's what we do. We help people.
Yeah.
And I think that, it's just going to have to continue to be the demand of the people. Ultimately, the marketplace will win.
Yeah, it's the power of the purse. You keep buying the health products, going to spas, doing all that. But yeah, I'm working with a Maha group in Arizona now. Uh, what's it called? Vital Choice Project. And I'm going to be flying out there in July to hang out with them and be on a panel. And from what I read about Vital Choice Project, it's 3 young men who've had really serious health conditions who decided they wanted to come together, create a 501c3 charitable organization to try to educate students that want to go into the health professions about nutrition or whatever. So do I have an earful for them? Because I've got I've got the answer. It's very basic, and we don't need the $1,000 testing. As I said, we just need to get people on the right building blocks to make their cells healthy and their mitochondria healthy. And let me just finish up, because I noticed the one article that you can put up, Rachel, molecular mechanisms of insulin resistance in humans and their potential links with mitochondrial dysfunction. So a lot of words, a lot of words. This is back in 2006.
Mm.
What it talks about is the inability to transport glucose across cell membranes being due to excess lipid in the cell, affecting cell signaling at the insulin receptor. That's your omega-6 seed oils. Those are the bad fats that are getting into our cells. And then magnesium deficiency, we know, causes insulin resistance, which in turn causes hyperinsulinemia, resulting in hypertension, diabetes, and hyperlipidemia. Sugar and vitamin C are also part of this picture. So they're back in 2006, they were already throwing mitochondrial dysfunction into the mix and never talking about magnesium and how to keep the mitochondria and the mitochondrial Krebs cycle working properly. Then you needed magnesium. This is where I'll finish off the show. I'm looking at the time with the fact that all our cells have mitochondria except red blood cells. The brain, there are 2 million mitochondria in each brain cell neuron. There are 5,000 mitochondria in each heart cell. And these cells are just working away, but they need magnesium, they need some B vitamins, they need copper and zinc, they need all these bits and pieces of other vitamins and minerals, which we work with in our formulas. And what we have to look at is, if we're taking the nutrients, not just the word of the nutrient, oh, you need this and this and this, you have to be absorbing them. Your body has to accept them into the cells. And that way you get healthy and perfect cells, and you don't get this insulin resistance because of eating a bad fat. I know that's a little, complicated. I stumbled around there, but do you get my drift, Ginny?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. 100%. Magnesium is the it. I mean, you've got to have it, and you will have mitochondrial dysregulation if you don't have magnesium,
Yeah.
right? I mean, because it won't be able to perfect its work.
Right.
And a lot of people don't even know what the electron transport chain is. So,
Right. Well, it totally freaked me out when I read about, or I was listening to what's his name's work on nitric oxide. That he was, I mean, how many millions of dollars has he spent trying to promote magnesium ascorbate?
right.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
The And that's what we're up against. It's all this super duper marketing, and without looking at the real absorption of these minerals. And we're the only one that we don't have. It's not a patented, but we have a lifelong hold on this process. So we're the only ones that are going to be able to make it. So you just stick with us.
That's right. That's right. And if you want to learn more about, we're going to wrap the show, but if you want to learn more about Dr. Carolyn Dean, her work, her history, her influence, and read some of her blogs. And again, check out her recent podcasts, which are fantastic. drcarolyndean.com is the place to go. Our super secret website where we hide all of our formulas away from the world is at rnareset.com. Be sure to pop in there. I always want to encourage people, go to the bundle and save page. That's where our daily discounts are. People always, can I get a discount code? No, but you can order a bundle because that's where your discount's going to be. And then, of course, Pico Pets. We love our pets. We love our pet family members, and we want them to be as healthy as we are. And Pico Pets is the way to go as far as that's concerned. So be sure to check out Pico Pets as well. Thank you, everybody, for being with us tonight. And we're going to be back next Monday with more hearts. And we're going to be taking and giving a full hug report. How many people have you hugged today? And everybody, feel free to join us. And get in on the fun. Start hugging some folks, and let's see what happens.
You have been listening to Dr. Carolyn Dean, the doctor of the future. Become a member of drcarolyndean.com and get access to all her leading edge of creation information, as well as archives, webinars, and other valuable media resources. Join Dr. Dean and Ginny Almighty same time again next week.